Now understand something. What makes the C sweet is that the C is not giving you protocol for them. They're giving it to it for you. So the air traffic control ain't getting in the plane. They ain't going nowhere. They don't have nothing to do with them. But they are, notice they're in this big tower. Why are they in the tower? So they can see everything. When you're on the ground as a pilot, you don't see what's ahead of you. So that's the C's whole job. The air traffic control whole job is not to look at now. It is to look at the entire course. So we've been doing it wrong all this time. We've been letting D's lead. When the D shouldn't lead, we should start with our C. We should get the structure first. We should get the systems first. It's not the only place. If you're building a building, you don't start with the general contractor. When you're building a building, you start with who? You start with the architect. You start with the engineer first. You don't just let the general contractor go in there and just start tearing walls down. You start first with the blueprint. Once the D gets the blueprint, boom, then they can go to work because they know what they're doing. At that point, they have the details. So we should always start with the plan first. We should always start with the blueprint. And the reason why a lot of your companies aren't successful is because you're not starting with the blueprint. So once you get the blueprint, you get a blueprint to your D, the D is going to get on everybody. But now the I and the S, specifically the S, who has the ability to do all things, has a system now. And so they can look and go step one, step two, step three. When the D and the I give you instructions, they over delegate and under instruct. Right? Again, they over delegate and they under instruct. The C gonna give you all the instructions. Now remember who the C is working for. The C is working for the D. The C is working for the pilot. So when you look at an aircraft, the air traffic control, they do the seat assignment, they do the GPS, they tell you which. Now we were supposed to get here at 6:08 this morning. We landed at 6:30 something. I looked at we were here. Like we were here for about 30 minutes, but we kept going in circles. Some people on the plane upset. We keep going in circles. I'm like, for a good reason. I'm sure air traffic control don't just have us up here, just be up here. Maybe it's fog. I don't know what's going on, but I trust them. I'd rather wait 30 minutes and land than try to land now. And I got it on film and I didn't get a chance to give it to Nick, but I actually saw two planes flying together. We were flying, there was a plane right next to us flying. And I was like, this ain't supposed to, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't dumb. I ain't no air traffic control, but I ain't never seen no plane this close to me before. Like, I ain't supposed to see this. I'm just being real. I'm like, and we in London. I'm not trying to be funny. We ain't in JFK. It ain't 50,000 planes flying. I'm like, this is 6 o'clock in the morning. It shouldn't be like 80 planes out here. So it's me and him. So apparently they let him land first. And we went in the circle. I'm all for it. Other people are like, I gotta go somewhere. Go where? I'm just being real. Have you ever been about to fly and the air traffic control, they tell you we're not flying right now. Sit down for a minute and people got upset. You ever seen that before? People get upset. I'm saying, what are you getting upset for? You think they telling you we're gonna wait for another 2 hours because they don't got nothing to do? Like they looked and saw it's not wise. So you see what I'm saying? We gotta do it differently. So a lot of our companies aren't successful because you didn't start with a blueprint. You just ran with an idea. There's nothing thorough about your idea. It's not detailed. Come on, be honest. How many of y'all started without the blueprint? Be real, raise your hand. You started your business without the blueprint. Absolutely. How many of y'all started on the idea? Just be real, raise your hand. You started on the idea that you was gung-ho about. So I'm not saying anything wrong with the D to I to S. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from this point forth, you need to have your air traffic control or your engineer do the blueprints. And once the blueprints are done, then after that, we can go for the races because we got everything we need. Does that make sense? All right, but real quick, watch it. They're what? Perfectionists. Why are they cautious? Because what they do is life and death. That's why they're so cautious about everything they do. They take their time. They measure twice, they cut once. All the other ones just be cut. They don't care. They're like, we'll fix it later. The C is like, no. So sometimes you look at the C like, they trying to slow me down. They're not trying to slow you down. They're trying to measure twice and cut once. They don't want to just get results. They want to do it the right way. The D and I, we just want results. We don't always care how we get them. The C is like, no. No fatalities. We don't want we want it right. We don't want to mess up. Remember that teacher you couldn't stand in math? You get the right answer, but she wanted to see the work. Remember her? You pissed. I'm like, here go the answer, boo. What you tripping on? She's like, no, I want to see your work. Let me see your work first. And then she'd give you a better grade for your work. Even if the answer was wrong, she'd go, this is where you messed up right here, but I see you know what you're doing. But just the answer, I don't know that you know what you're doing, right? And the D, the I, and the S, none of them really care about perfection. The C is a perfectionist because the C realizes that whenever we don't do it right, it complicates everything. Does that make sense? So all the other ones, they don't never get it done 100%. And as a result of it, you waste money, you waste time. The C is like, yo, let's slow down. Let's think first. So watch it. Perfectionist, systematic. Why? Because when you do something in the system, listen to me, you can't be successful without duplication. You can't be successful without replication. McDonald's is McDonald's because they're all over the world. It's a system. I came here, landed, it's the Big Mac. Oh, they got the Big Mac too? They got the Big Mac? It's the same. Come on. 2 all-beef patties on a sesame seed, pickles, salt, special sauce. I'm just saying, all the other 3, the D, the I, the S, they don't have no system. So you got to start all over again every time. You do stuff, or you do it 80%. The C is like, yo, let's create a system. Why? Because once we create a system, we don't got to keep doing it all over again. We do it once, and you just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Does that make sense? So you mad at the C, but the C's trying to help you. They're trying to help you to get it right. Stop making those mistakes. Listen to me. When you get into business, the C said it. The word that you hate the most is I'm sorry. It doesn't, we're sorry. It's no sorry. If you would have did what we told you to do, don't fly. The conditions aren't good enough. Don't fly. They're careful, which none of the other ones are. They're analytical. They're orderly. They're neat. Does that make sense? So don't do that no more. The C just take too long. They slow. I say this all the time. Don't say that the turtle was slow. Why? Because the raccoon, the squirrel, all of them, I see them all the time. They roadkill. I don't never see a turtle get hit. I don't never see a turtle get hit. They ain't too slow. They're methodical. They're actually thinking. A turtle it don't make sense to be going back and forth at 3 o'clock. Seems like there's a lot of cars out there. I'm just going to wait till 2 o'clock in the morning to start walking. All the other ones just like, bah. I'm fast. Okay, you fast and dead. How smart is that? Right? So we got to starting, y'all. We got to start with the C because they have a respect for protocol and standard. My wife's a high C. My wife and I will be driving and she'll ask me all the time, how fast are you going? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, what's the speed limit? I was like, I don't know. How would I? Like, where do you get that? Where do you get the speed limit at? I don't know. She's like, right over there. You look at the sign. I was like, oh, the sign. She was like, well, how do you know how to drive? I was like, I just follow everybody else. They doing 55, I'm doing 55. I'm just being real. They doing 60, I'm doing 60. Right? My license has been messed up, my insurance. My wife, 48 years old. Guess how many speeding tickets she got? 0. She ain't never got a parking ticket. She got one time she got pulled over. I don't remember what it was. My man looked at her driver's license, was like, whoa. He's like, yo, you perfect. I'm not gonna be the one to mess it up. I'm being real. My man stopped, he was about 36. He was like, I'm not about to be. They pulled me over, they're like, get out. Get the blank out right now, hands up. I was like, yo, bro, what happened? Like, you got tickets you ain't paid for back in 92. I'm just being real. I got tickets in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky. When I was in college, I'm driving with no license. I don't care. But my insurance, my license has been revoked. Does that make sense? So y'all, we gotta start having way more respect for the C. Because all they're gonna do is give us the blueprint. All they're gonna do is look at the air traffic, and tell us where to fly, when to fly, how to fly. They're not trying to hurt us. Good, all right, what was those questions again? I'm sorry, yes ma'am.